jelly shoes, boy bands, and space hopper. The 90s weren't always the best, but some things were. Today, we're counting down the 20 most stunning women of the 90s. 20. Paris Hilton made her name rocking the appearance of a party girl heiress, making a name for herself with her wildly expensive and often provocative looks. Despite the fact that some people questioned her taste in fashion, no one could deny that she was one of the most stunning women of the decade. In fact, her occasional wild ways and bizarre stunts just got her higher into stardom and the people's praise. But that's not all she is. More recently, we were introduced into a better, more mature, and even more beautiful Paris in a tell-all documentary. 19. Stacy Keibler has a career that spanned 2 decades. Her fresh-faced look was often lauded, but not nearly as much as the tough girl aura that she gave. Being a WWE diva, she was fit, she was fun, and she was fashionable. This was a woman who could knock you down with a right hook or a blown kiss, the sort of double standard in beauty that just wasn't seen back in the 90s. It's no wonder that she was always making headlines. 18. Holly Madison is maybe one of the best-known Playboy bunnies of all time, so there's no doubting the fact that she's stunning. Back in the 90s, she sported blonde hair that everyone was dying to touch, and a sway to her hips that had everyone watching. Those looks have not left her either, and she's still largely considered one of the most stunning women of all time. 17. Beyonce is all the rage now, and she was all the rage in the 90s too. She was perhaps best known for being able to pull off sexy but sophisticated as a look, and for her role in the best-selling girls group Destiny's Child. She's still causing heads to turn today with every media appearance that she makes. And just look at her in her video for Naughty Girl. 16. Halle Berry went from being a beauty queen to a star on the cinema screen, and we're all glad for it. She's the first African-American woman to win the Oscar for Best Actress, and she deserves it. Even now, she's got a figure that doesn't lie, and a face that is an instant showstopper. Plus, she looked insane in her Catwoman outfit. 15. Sharon Stone was the ultimate sex symbol of the 90s, following her leading role in the thriller Basic Instinct. She's still a beauty in the eyes of many, and highly thought to be one of the most stunning women from the 90s. When she sported that short-cut, messy look, it just did things to the people around her, turning her sweet face into something wild and smoking hot. And if you think this is hot, stick around to see some of our lollipop scenes and strip teases later on. 14. Catherine Zeta-Jones made her name in The Mask of Zorro, and found her fame through her bombshell beauty and timeless good looks. Her on-screen magnetism simply can't be ignored, no matter what your personal preferences are. This was at least in part due to her unique looks and the way that she held herself, something other actors often commented on. 13. Demi Moore might still be around today, but in the 90s, she was known as one of the go-to when you needed to cast a sexy female lead. From sensual to downright dirty, she could pull it all off. And her top dollar worth was just proof of that. She was one of the highest paid actresses of all time, a title earned in the 90s and still held on to today. 12. Naomi Campbell was the first Black woman to appear on the covers of Vogue in Britain, France, and the US, and many claim that this stunning woman is the originator for which the word supermodel was actually created. Take one look at her picture and we're certain that you'll agree. Her flawless beauty wormed its way into the hearts and magazines of people all across the globe and is still applauded today. 11. Jennifer Aniston was something of a cultural phenomenon in the 90s. She was considered one of the most significant beauty icons of the era, and the hairstyle that she wore during her tenure as a starring actress on the hit TV series Friends was one of the most popular and frequently worn looks of the time. And let's just say we want to be more than friends with her. We've reached the midpoint, which puts on the countdown for some topless pool antics. Stick around for that splash. 10. Julianne Moore has barely changed at all over the last 30 years. She's still rocking the same iconic red hair and flawless skin that made her one of the most stunning women of the 90s. Despite the fact that 3 decades have passed, you sure can't tell it from looking at her. Julianne Moore is still just as striking to look at. 9. Sandra Bullock has been in everything from dramas to comedies, and she's an incredible actor. But more than that, she's a stunning woman. So stunning, in fact, that she's actually been named as the people's most beautiful woman. Her appearance has always been and appears to always be a showstopper. 8. Denise Richards was a Bond girl way back in the 90s and gained her claim to fame through that franchise. But she also gained fame through her looks, receiving appearances on both FHM's and Maxim's lists of sexiest women, and then starring in Wild Things, which is known for being one of the sexiest movies of all time. 7. Penelope Cruz was beautiful in the 90s and is still rocking that same lovely look now. It's not just her flawless figure or skin that she was known for, but the smoky beauty of those brilliant brown eyes. They got her a lot of credit in the 90s, and they're still making people drop jaw today. 6. Mariah Carey was a beauty queen from the start, but in the late 90s, after her divorce from Tommy Mottola, she really started to embrace her sensual side. Her songs are still topping charts today, and some consider her the Queen of Christmas due to the sheer popularity of her Christmas albums. 5. Faith Hill was known as one of the epitomes of all-American beauty back in the 90s. Her sweet style made waves across the nation, paired with those titular and well-known locks of hers and her romantic country songs. It's no wonder that people thought her stunning, and we wish we were him. 4. Kate Moss would be remiss if left off this list. She rose to fame in the 90s and has become known as one of the most successful supermodels of all time. While not a traditional beauty, her appearance still managed to be covered the world over, even if they did dub the beauty trend heroin chic. 3. Rachel Weisz is another actress who gained a certain name for her absolute beauty and stunning appearance. She's become known as the English Rose. The nickname came about due to her rosy lips, which were always highlighted during her big-name photo shoots. 2. Courtney Cox absolutely dominated the 90s. While she was best known at the time for her role on Friends, that wasn't her only means of stardom. She was a common household name and a setter for beauty trends and fashion statements all throughout the era. 1. Elizabeth Hurley is perhaps best known for wearing a revealing black Versace dress to the premiere of 4 Weddings and a Funeral, a dress which has gone down in history as one of the most risque red carpet looks of all time. Now that was a naughty list. We were blushing making it. Until next time, please like, share, and subscribe.